so far you've only done trigonometry with angles between 0 and 90. We need to look at other angles around the revolution, such as between 0 and 180 or up to 360. And we also look at what happens if angles are negative. So I'll do a bit of explanation and then I'll teach you how to remember it. So what we do is we look at the unit circle. And what a unit circle is it's a circle with a radius of 1 and it has an x value of x and a y value of y. So the adjacent is x and the opposite is y. And as we move around the circle, things will happen. So if I just have a look at this first quadrant, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so sine is y. So the y value is sine. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, so it's x, and tan is opposite over adjacent, so it's x on y. So they're from angles from 0, so we start counting here up until 90, and we call that quadrant 1. Now what happens when we go to quadrant 2? We've still got our radius of 1, but our x value is now negative, because over here is negative on the Cartesian plane. Here, y is positive. So if we look at this theta, we would say, oh, it's 180 minus theta, but we would also say that that's equal to the sine of theta. But we'd also say that's equal to y on 1, which is y. Cos is equal to the cos, it's actually the minus cos of theta, because instead of just getting x, we get a minus x because it's adjacent on hypotenuse, and tan, we get minus y on x, so we get a negative value. So whatever we had here for sine is the same as here for sine. Whatever we had here for cos is the same, but it's negative. Whatever we had here for tan, it's the same value, but it's negative. Quadrant 3 is the same, except this time x and y are negative. So if we have a look, sine is minus y. So instead of it's sine 180 plus theta is also equal to minus the sine of theta. Cos 180 plus theta is equal to minus x, which is the same as minus cos theta. And tan is minus y on minus x, which gives me a positive. So it's exactly the same value as we started with in this first quadrant. Quadrant 4, same story, except x and y is negative. So sine is minus y, still being opposite over hypotenuse, which is minus the angle. Cos is x, so it's positive, the same as the first. And tan is minus y on x, so it's negative. Okay. In summary, this quadrant is the first quadrant, and it's called theta, and it's from angles to 0 to 90. And the angles between 0 and 90, for any angle between 180 and 90, sine is positive. All the rest are negative. And we call that the second quadrant, and we express the angle as 180 minus theta. In the third quadrant, which is between 180 and 270, our angle is 180 plus theta, because we came around here. Tan is positive, that's why there's a T. And in our last quadrant, or our fourth quadrant, cos is positive, which we discovered up there anyway, and we call it 360 minus theta. How do we remember that? It's all stations to central. That's how we remember it. All stations 2 central. It tells me all are positive, only sine is positive, only tan is positive, and only cos is positive.